play stadium seats. We're the best in the world. We're the best in podcasting. Yo, Gemz, let them know.
Red bottom tape, Frizz on the way. Gemz on the mic, and you know he don't play. Every seat packed, the fans go cray. Stream after stream, now what they gon' say? Frizz on the beat, Tay brings the heat. Stadium seats without Gemz ain't complete. The tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans that been rocking with us lately. Love.
Stadium seats. Frizz, Gemz, Tay, we the best. Stadium seats, Frizz, Gemz, and Tay. What's going on?
Yeah. What's up, Frizz?
What's up, Gemz? What's going on tonight?
Telling you, man, it's Tuesday night, right? Tuesday.
I know. We still got that Super Bowl hangover a little bit.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the loss of football season.
Yeah.
It's a sad day.
It's about that time, though, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. Before we get started, Tay's not with us tonight. She's a little under the weather. Again, Stadium Seats. Stadium Seats crew. Yeah, man, the Stadium Seats crew just keeps getting hit with this flu bug.
Yeah, it's around. It's heavy.
And, but again, the show must go on. We hope she gets better. Hit us up at Seats Stadium on our Twitter. We are very close to 1,300 followers. And you can find our show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio. Shout out to them. That's our new favorite platform, correct?
I love iHeart. Love it.
Yeah. Castbox and several others, YouTube, and pretty much everything else we're on, right?
Yeah, hopefully iHeart reaches out to us so we could talk, right? Like, come on. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, we got business to talk to, right? Or about, right?
Yeah, like I'm stating it right now. They need to reach out to us.
Get us on the show. Like, get us on like something.
Yeah, let's do a deal. What's up? We out here. Stadium
We're
seats.
here right now. Stadium Seats, Frizz, Gemz, Tay, let's go. So, without further ado, Stadium Seats Podcast at gmail.com email segment. Let's go. Hey, it's been a minute since we had our email segment.
Right.
So, Gemz, look, check it out. We got an email from Ron.
Oh, okay.
Finally.
I know. Where he
okay, so do you want me to read it?
Yeah, but let's for the listeners out there who don't know Ron, let's take a couple steps back. Explain the story about Ron.
Okay, so Ron, is one of our big fans on Stadium Seats. He basically called out Gemz.
Ew.
He called you out, dog.
I know. Very critical.
And he basically, and he's still calling us out on this email. Yeah. and it's tripping me out a little bit because he's telling us step up our game.
That's big.
Like, I think our game has went from 50 to at least 75 if we're on a 100-point scale right now.
Yeah. I mean, we started out slow. We had to adjust, right? But
yeah,
we're growing.
We're moving in. We're moving along here. Let me just read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's like a book.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, don't read the whole thing.
I'm gonna improvise here. Yeah, definitely. So this is Ronnie, a.k.a. Ron. When I think of Ronnie, I think Ronnie from the Jersey Shore, man.
Yeah, I'm like, let's do a fist pump. Let's do it.
Yeah, no doubt. I've been listening to the show and must say the show is moving into the right direction. Okay, props. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, I was walking a thin line. See, that's what I'm saying.
Whoa, hater.
Hey, I want to give you all credit by doing a good job. My favorite episode was the recent one with Kobe Bryant. Okay, great.
Nice.
Shout out to that. It was a different show for us. Yeah. We wanted to bring our emotions, our feelings to it. And I'm glad the fans kind of felt it.
Right.
Gem's breakdown was great. His voice just drew me in. All right. Some props.
There you go.
New intro is fire. Great. It's pretty hard. I like it. The beat is amazing. Shout out to Frizz. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Frizz.
Getting some love. I believe the one line said Frizz on the beat. So Frizz Nation, stand up.
There we go. I like that.
All right. Stand up, Frizz Nation. Gemz, I've been critical and I'm not scared of debating you at all.
Ew.
This is where it gets.
Ew.
But I must say you've done a good job in recent episodes. Hotline, when you said in the new intro, Red Bottom Tay.
I like that.
Frizz and Tay, I really like you too as well. Keep doing what you're doing. But again, you're not there yet. You're not there yet. Step up your game.
So those are like backhanded comments, right? You say something good and then you end with something bad, right?
He says, I want to call in, but no hard feelings, Ron.
Well, we need to give him a number to call in because I think the fans would like that. I think this guy would be great to have our first call in.
This could get pretty heated.
It could get ugly. Ron, we are not scared. We are not scared of you, Ron.
Shout out to Ron, though, for giving us some love and then, kind of deflating the balloon, if you will.
Yeah. He's very critical, but you know what? We like that. Be honest.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see where he goes with this and see if he got a reply to us. We want you to reply to us. We want you to send us in a topic, Ron. Send us in something, and you call in, and we'll debate that topic with you. How about that?
I think that's perfect.
That's what we'll do. Send us in a comment. We'll give you a phone number. I'll message you a phone number, and then we'll get you on the show.
That's perfect.
Done. Let's move on to our next email coming from Julian Morales. All right. He wants to know, what are the chances of Kansas City repeating as Super Bowl champs? And what does the free agency look like for them? What does the free agency market look like for them? Look, Julian, appreciate the love. Thanks for listening to our show. You're a citizen here on Stadium Seats. First, Gemz, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Absolutely.
For winning the Super Bowl. And you had your doubts, right?
I had my doubts. I had them.
But Frizz definitely picked Kansas City to win this one. So you're welcome. Pat on the back for myself. But I'll kind of just give a really brief answer to this question. I don't think they will repeat as Super Bowl champs because it's the NFL and it's very hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the 70s. This isn't the 70 Steelers dynasty. This isn't the Dallas Cowboys dynasty, when they had Aikman and Irvin and Emmitt Smith. This isn't the Niners dynasty when they had Montana. This isn't even the New England Patriots dynasty. It's very hard in the NFL these days with free agency and all these contracts to repeat as Super Bowl champs. And I just don't think they're there yet. And some of the key free agents that they're gonna miss. I did some research on this. They have 24 players that have contract expirations this year. Okay. Some of their big ones are Chris Jones, who is their big defensive lineman. He's their sack leader. And their cornerback, Kendall Fuller, their best corner. So, and they're really thin at linebacker as it is.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing in my mind is their two guards, Wiley and Wisniewski. They're two starting guards. So if they don't re-sign those guys, and then guess what? Pat Mahomes, he's due for an extension. What do you do, Gemz? Do you pay that guy? Do you pay that guy for the next decade?
Yeah, you do. He's going to be. He's going to set the record for the quarterback market there. I think he's probably going to get up to $40 million a year, maybe even a little bit more, up to $45 million a year. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to pay your quarterback. Those guys that you mentioned, I don't see Kansas City retaining all of those players there, especially after you win a Super Bowl. those guys are looking for their payday, and it's well deserved as well because those guys are great players. So I don't see them retaining any of those guys. So to answer the question, the Julians there, yeah, it's going to be tough to repeat because you have free agency, you have unrestricted free agents, you just won a Super Bowl, and it's about self now. It's about business, and the NFL is a big business, and you're about to pay your quarterback up to over $200 million. So, is there any room to re-sign these guys? I don't know.
I agree. And the thing about it that makes it kind of tricky is, you know, who do you franchise tag? Do you franchise Chris Jones, and then hopefully he doesn't hold out? That's the tricky part nowadays with these teams. Like, you franchise somebody, they do a Le'Veon Bell on you.
Oh yeah, that's a sign of disrespect now. Franchise tag, to hold
Yeah,
out.
it is, but you can get that money for 1 year, the highest in the league.
I wouldn't mind getting 20 million for 1 year. Wouldn't mind
No, who wouldn't? So that's what we think about this, Julian, and I appreciate the love. So, hey, you are a true Stadium Seats citizen and a season ticket holder. Keep your questions coming because we like when people drop us topics to talk about. But you know what, Jim? Shout out to the NFL season and the Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, one more time, because we're not going to talk about football much here on the show anymore until we get into maybe the NFL Combine later in the month, and then the draft in April. So, man, it's sad, right?
Sad. It was a good game. Good halftime show. Good game. Kansas City won, and congratulations to them. But I think that San Francisco kind of let this one go.
Yeah, I agree with you
Right.
100%.
So,
I think, Gemz, we could talk about this for 2 hours.
I know.
And we don't want to do that to the fans. So we definitely want to move on to some new topics, Gemz. And we're going to get into a little bit of NBA hoops and maybe some college hoops here tonight. And then briefly talk about the NHL in our next couple shows and get you get on the hardwood now.
Yep, time to lace them up here.
Time to
Lace them up.
Get those high tops tied up and get those headbands on and go to the rack.
Ready and ones. Let's do it.
All right. This leads us to our first NBA question. And we've touched on the NBA a little bit here on Stadium Seats, but not in depth like we did with the NFL or college football or not even Major League Baseball. So, can moving Capella from the Rockets make them a better team, Gemz? Let the listeners know.
Well, it depends on who they acquire if they move Clinton Capella. Clinton Capella, he's a rim runner, and he's a very expensive rim runner. He's sitting out right now with a foot injury, so that's really not working in the Rockets' favor to move him. He has a contract 5 years, over $90 million, so that's not working in the Rockets' favor at all. But, rumor reports came out there that the Celtics and the Hawks are very interested in Clinton Capella, and I think the Hawks are the favorites. So look out for the Hawks acquiring Clinton Capella. I mean, anything could happen. That's not 100% factual, but if they do acquire Clinton Capella, I think Capella could help the Hawks. And whatever, the Rockets get for Clinton Capella, they're going to have to be a certain type of player that could do the same things that Clinton Capella could do, but even better, such as shooting the 12 to 15 footer, creating shots for others, being a rebounder and a rim runner. Clinton Capella, he was just kind of like just a rim runner. That's it. He couldn't really do nothing else. He was more of a cleanup guy. They need somebody else on the team with the Rockets that's really going to open things up for Harden. Be that post president that could do more things down low. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, but like right now, Houston's sitting at number 5, right, in the West. They're 31-18.
Right.
They're not too far out, of those 2, 3, 4 slots, behind the Clippers, Denver, and Utah. I was watching the interview that Westbrook did the other night after the game, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him, do you feel comfortable yet with this team? And he said, it's coming together, but we're not there yet. Do you think that these guys just, since it's their first year playing together again, that they're just not gelling as a team enough?
Yeah, well, we don't know, the backstory behind that comment. That could come from anywhere. As you can see, in the last couple of years, there's always been James Harden, right? Shooting the
Right.
ball, dribbling, and shooting. Well, has that changed this year? No. So maybe, Westbrook was just saying indirectly, like, you know what, we're good right now, but something got to change because we're still playing the same way as we played the last couple years. And in the last couple years, we did good in the regular season, but we couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs. So they have to make a change, and I think that's where Capella comes into play of them trying to ship him out and bring in another valuable player that could get them over the hump in playoff time, because it just can't be Harden and Westbrook and some other key guys. It has to be more.
Yeah, you're right. So we'll see what happens to the Houston Rockets, because I definitely like watching them play, Westbrook and Harden and them.
Yeah.
I think they're explosive and they're fun to watch.
Fun to
So
play.
let's move on to our next topic, Gemz. More trade rumors.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Here we go.
Should the Warriors trade or wait on D'Angelo Russell? Now we know that this is a young all-star, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what is your take on this? Should the Warriors kind of hang on to this guy? Wait for him. Wait for Steph Curry to get back. Because they could be kind of dangerous together.
Yeah.
What do you think? What is your take on it?
Well, here's the thing about the Golden State Warriors. They picked up D'Angelo Russell, right? Last year, paid him a lot of money due to KD exiting. But the thing is, D'Angelo didn't replace KD. So what they did is they used D'Angelo's value since he had a great year in the prior year in Brooklyn, they're using his value, and he's still playing very well for the Golden State Warriors. So my thing is, I think the Golden State Warriors want to wait. They haven't really expressed any interest in any trade talks with other teams right now, or any serious talks. Steph Curry is supposed to come back in March, so they want to see how that chemistry is. But if that chemistry doesn't work out, believe me, the Minnesota Timberwolves are ready to make an offer, to the Golden State Warriors. And I think they want D'Angelo Russell, Ersan Ilyasova, and DJ Wilson. And Golden State would acquire Andrew Wiggins, and Indiana's lottery pick protected 2020 first round pick, Minnesota's 2020 first round pick, and Minnesota's 2020 second round pick. So that could be in play. I don't know what the Golden State Warriors really want for D'Angelo Russell. They haven't showed their card yet, and which is good that they haven't showed their card yet, because it's still early in talks right now. But I think that's the team that's in the front line right now that's really going to make a trade. If they get Andrew Wiggins, he's not a KD, but Andrew Wiggins is pretty good. He can shoot. He's good. He's owed about $95 million through 2022 and 2023. But I tell you what, the positive outlook for Andrew Wiggins is, if the Golden State Warriors pick him up, number one, he'll be playing with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. That's a great nucleus right there. He's coming into a great program that's comfortable. He's not being pressured to score. He's only 24 years old, and currently he's averaging 22 points, 5 rebounds, and around 4 assists a game. So I think that's prominent, and I think they need to fill KD's slot. Andrew Wiggins is not a KD. He is not, but he might be good enough to fill that slot, what the Golden State Warriors need. So be on the lookout for that.
No doubt. We will. Gemz here at Stadium Seats. He is our NBA expertise.
Yeah.
So you need something for the NBA, holler at Gemz.
We ready. I need to get you excited for this NBA.
Oh,
you excited?
I get fired up for hoops, man.
Okay.
I'm the more the playoff type.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? The regular season's great and all, but I can't get into it until the NBA playoffs kick out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so long.
It's such a long season. I mean, God, just like hockey, man, 84 games. Holy mackerel. So once those playoffs start, I really enjoy watching a lot of those playoff series.
Yeah.
Especially the big games. So let's talk about Zion, man.
Okay.
Do you think he's already amongst the NBA elite? I know that's a crazy statement.
Ooh.
I know he just made his debut.
Pretty good. He did pretty good. Last couple games, double-double.
Yeah, he's been tearing it out. And you know one thing? I didn't think the big man could knock down threes like that.
Yeah, what'd he go? 4 for 4? 5 for 5?
Something ridiculous.
Yeah. You know what? Elite, maybe in strength. Star power, yes. He's very popular, so he's elite in that category. I just think he has to play a couple more games. A lot of people are excited. He just went against tonight, Greek the Freak, and Greek the Freak kind of blocked his shot. So Greek the Freak he already welcomed Zion to the NBA. But Greek the Freak, he's one of the best in the NBA. So, the Pelicans lost to the Bucks tonight, but it was good to see, Zion out there competing against one of the best big men, in the world, actually. But is he elite? He is elite in strength. I think that, the way his body mass is, the way he's built. I mean, he's like 6'6" and he's built like a football player. So when
he's out there like the Incredible Hulk.
I know. So I think he still has to develop from the waist down due to the fact that he's coming off a knee injury. So he'll go through this season here. And then in the off season, I think they're really going to get that nutritionist with him, start eating right, eating appropriately, getting him in the weight room, and then really brushing up on his skills. And I think probably the second, third year that Zion, went through an NBA season, he'll be definitely elite. But right now, elite and talent-wise, it's tough right now. It's tough.
Yeah.
But strength-wise and star power, yes, he's one of the elite. He's gonna pack the stadium. So
he's averaging 19.5 a game right now, 8.2 rebounds a game.
Yeah, and he's 19 years old. Shout out to him.
Shout out to the kid.
Yeah.
And the crazy stat is when he's on the court, New Orleans is outscoring their opponent by a wider margin than the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes.
So he's getting you got to get him the ball.
Get him, and you know what? Coach Gentry, he said that the previous game when they were playing against Houston. They lost against Houston, but Zion didn't touch the ball in the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. And I tell you what, the coach was very upset that they didn't get him the ball. And, for your guy, he's hot. He's in rhythm right now. He's making shots. You got to give him the ball. You got to keep him involved because he's a rhythm type of player. When he scores, he could score in multiple times, consistently, repetitively. So you just got to keep Zion in rhythm because when he's around the hoop, he's going to finish, Frizz. It's over. He's going to finish.
Yeah, I agree. And he's explosive. He can go to the rack, but, he tore it up 4 for 4 on threes, but since then he's only attempted 2.
Yeah. He only attempted 2. Is that his game, shooting threes? No.
Absolutely not.
Right. So we don't want Zion shooting threes, but we do want Zion hitting that, 12 to 15 footer, pump faking, going to the hole, drawing the foul, and beating up the big men because of his body is just so built and robust, right? Amongst other basketball players in the NBA. So Zion could really beat you up and wear you down low. So that's what we want from Zion. We want rebounds. We want double doubles. He reminds me of a a upgraded, talented Charles Barkley, right? So shout out to Zion. I think his future is promising in the NBA, and I'm glad and I'm excited to watch him.
Keep doing your thing out there, kid. 19 years old, doing it. Man, so young, right? God, doing his thing. Last NBA question. And then we're going to talk about some college hoops.
Cool. Let's do it.
Who needs a bigger piece to their puzzle? The Lakers or the Clippers? What do you think?
That's a good question.
What do you think, Gemz? Who can, number one, afford somebody? And number two, who do they trade?
Right. So, wow, that's a really
you're
good
talking
question.
about one of the two best teams in the league.
Yeah, we're going to see these two in the Western Conference Finals. We're going to see these two go at it. It's going to be a great series, and this is what I'm mostly excited about. But I think that the team that needs the another piece would be the Lakers, and here's the reason why. LeBron always played with a great closer, and if you look at the times that he won the NBA title in Cleveland, LeBron did a great job. He had a heck of a series, but Kyrie Irving hit the big shot against Steph Curry in the clutch. LeBron didn't hit that shot. Okay. The times that he won it in Miami, he had a clutch finisher right at the end of the game, and that's in the Hall of Famer, the great Dwayne Wade. So when you look at this, is AD, is he clutch? No, he's not a clutch type of player. So what I think that the Lakers need is to bring in another piece. Doesn't have to be a superstar, but another piece that's going to when LeBron's out and AD is out there by himself. You bring in someone that with some value that could get to the hole, create their own shot, hit that 15 to 17 footer, hit that three. Make the second team better while LeBron's resting out there. So it's like I think LeBron needs just one more shooter, one more playmaker. When LeBron's driving or AD's driving and the defense is collapsing, they dish it to that type of guy that could get buckets. So compared to the Clippers, I mean, you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. What else you need? You got the one of the six Williams there as well. They got enough pieces, on their team. They don't need another piece. They might need a piece like a rim runner, like Clinton Cabela or someone like that, and they can't afford him. They need someone like that. But other than that, I can see the Clippers going after Tristan Thompson from Cleveland Cavaliers, someone like that could just, fill in with garbage points, get you 10 points, 10 rebounds here and there. But I don't think they need a valuable piece like the Lakers do.
I hear you. We'll see what happens there. I mean, I just wanted to get your take, and the fans needed to hear it because, again, we got Gemz, the NBA expert here on Stadium Seats. Shout out to the NBA. We'll have more for you next show on the NBA. Let's move on now to NCAA basketball. Gemz, we're going to talk about not every conference. We're going to talk about the big conferences.
All right.
We're going to talk about who we think the top player of the year candidate is in some of the conferences. Now, I'll start it off, okay? And I'm going to go to the SEC, all right? Tough basketball conference, okay? You got Kentucky in there, but I'm going to talk about Anthony Edwards right now from the Georgia Bulldogs. Okay? He is scoring 20.8 points a game in league play, which includes a 19-point-per-game clip and 3 losses to Kentucky and Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This dude right here can elevate. He can get after it. He's great inside the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy right here, to me, is definitely a top 10 pick in the NBA in the June draft.
That's a great pick. But you know what? Don't forget about Mason Jones from Arkansas. Just don't forget about him. He's averaging 25 points per game in his last 4 contests there. And he's also recorded some assists, um, just in the first quarter that broke records there. He's got some great accolades coming in. So he had SEC Player of the Week. And he's also a candidate for Player of the Year. So just, watch out for Mason Jones. He's playing some good ball. But no, I like your pick as well.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the Big Ten. All right. I'm going to go. All right. And you could probably agree on this one is Cassius Winston from Michigan State.
Oh, yeah.
He's 19.6 per game. Okay. Carrying the Spartans right now. He is 38.1% from the 3-point line. All right. And he is definitely shooting the lights out for Michigan State this year. And this guy right here, he is definitely why Michigan State is winning ball games.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Winston, he's a great catalyst, and he makes that team go. Without him on the floor, you see the drop in points, you see the drop in shots attempts, and you see the defense decrease tremendously. So that's a great pick, Winston from Michigan State. But you also got to look at Luka Garza from Iowa Hawkeyes there. He's big man. The big man is not extinct in the game of basketball. There's a place for them. He's scoring 26 points, 0.5 points a game. So I tell you what, he's just a man that could get the job done when it goes in the middle, right? He creates shots for himself, and he creates shots for his other players on the team. So shout out to Luka, and that's going to be that's going to be some good competition there between Winston and Garza. So
who would you say, Gemz, is your perennial top guy from any conference in the league that you kind of keep your eye on?
That's a good question there.
I mean, I know there's a ton of conferences.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of great basketball players playing college basketball right now. But if you could just, pick a guy out there, from any of the conferences, who would you go with?
You're talking about not a big guy, but a perimeter player there, you're saying?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to stick with Winston. I'm a point guard type guy, and I know how important a point guard is with, to control the offense and then set the tone on the defense, create rhythm, slow the game down, speed it up. So I think having a point guard and making sure that the appropriate people are getting open shots and you're communicating, what type of defenses you want on the defensive side, talking and with heavy communication with your players there. So I like Winston. I like the way Michigan State plays ball. It's kind of like a old school defensive game, but that's the type of basketball I like. So I'm going to go with Winston. That's not
no doubt.
Pick,
I'm going to go with Vernon Carey from Duke.
Nice, yeah. Big time player.
Man, I was watching the Duke Pitt game the other night, and that guy just goes off. He's averaged 109 points per 100 possessions. Duke has. And the other night he had 26 and 17 against Syracuse.
Wow.
So he is just the type of player that you can give him the ball anytime and he can just change the game for you. One time in the Pitt game, he had 10 straight buckets for Duke. And Pitt played them pretty tough early. And Pitt just isn't there yet. But that's definitely my take for the guy that I kind of keep my eye on in college basketball. And we got a ton of time left. We got all February.
Yeah. We could go through all these conferences. I mean, the West Coast Conference there with Philippe, so out of Gonzaga Bulldogs. So we could talk about a lot. Like this is just a piece, a little.
This
tip
is touching the surface.
Yeah. We're not even.
This is putting the foot into the swimming pool and feeling it's too cold right now, and you got to warm up to it.
Oh yeah.
That's what this is, buddy. Yeah. You know what, man? So NCAA basketball, very exciting to talk about. and NBA and the NHL also is in full swing. But Gemz, we have some breaking news right now, and this is baseball,
Uh-oh.
and this is huge.
There you go.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
You might already know what's going on. Mookie Betts from the Red Sox is now a Los Angeles Dodger.
Ooh.
With David Price.
That's a good pickup.
The Boston Red Sox and LA Dodgers have agreed to a blockbuster deal that is going to send former MVP Mookie Betts and David Price to the Los Angeles Dodgers, including an outfielder, Verdugo, and the Dodgers just became the favorites to win the World Series.
I tell you what, the LA Dodgers was always like one game away, one player away, one hit away, one out away. In the last couple years, they should have been in the World Series. They should have won a couple World Series. Now with these acquisitions, these pickups, look out, LA. We need to go out to LA. Let's go.
They got Bellinger, Turner, Muncy, Gavin Lux to one of their top prospects, and now Mookie Betts in that lineup. The Pirates are going to get killed by 10 runs every time they play LA.
Oh, my God. I won't even show up to that game.
Man, breaking news here. You heard it first on Stadium Seats. I'm sure you're going to hear about it, but, that's just some of the crazy stuff that goes on here on Stadium Seats. We talk about NBA and college, and boom, blockbuster trade just happens. And
I like it.
It's exciting, man. It's the sports world. You just never know what's going to go on. Hey, real quick, couple tidbits on the NHL. The Boston Bruins still tearing it up. Okay, they're leading the Atlantic Division, 76 points. The Pittsburgh Penguins, surprisingly, are in second place right now behind the Caps. And we're going to have a little NHL segment next show. We'll talk a little bit about certain teams and the playoff pushes and stuff like that, because we're over the All-Star break, but they're right behind Washington. And in the Western Conference, St. Louis is still battling. They're number one in the Central. And Vancouver, the Canucks, is kind of surprising to me that they're leading the Pacific Division, right, and Edmonton's following them. So,
hey, Frizz,
we got to talk
real quick.
We got to talk some hockey too,
Yeah, real quick about those top teams in the divisions there that you just named. Who has the best power play? And could you, for those who don't know about the power play, how important is that for a team, especially going into the playoffs?
Yeah, right. The power play is very important in hockey because, obviously it's a man advantage. For the listeners that don't follow hockey a lot, when there's a penalty, it's either a 5-on-4 or, if there's a 5-on-3 penalty, and you got 4-on-4 hockey too nowadays. So I think that if you have a successful power play, it definitely gives you a leg up because it can give you the opportunity to score, with a man advantage. Now, it helps when your team is explosive, like the Boston Bruins, for instance. They're definitely probably top in the league. Okay. I call it special teams, if you will. The Boston Bruins, they're they have 47 goals on the year in the power play, and Edmonton is second at 46. But the team that you wouldn't think is the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're kind of below the list. They're 30 goals on their power play, and if you think about it, it matters more in the playoffs, if you ask me, because these teams feed off of that energy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like anything, in sports. But when you get on a power play, the crowd gets more hyped up. You got that man advantage, and then you got to hope to get a line change off in time and clear that puck down the end of the ice in order to, kill that penalty. So the Boston Bruins are so great to answer your question at doing that. And they are the best in the business right now, with the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, I tell you what, Frizz, I'm very excited to talk more about hockey and get into it. And I just want to talk about more about the strategies of going into the playoffs, what these teams do, what they're looking at, what's their weaknesses, what's their strengths. And I think we need to do a whole breakdown, for the second half of this season going into the playoffs here, because I think this is going to be a good one.
I agree, and I'm so ready for that too, and I'm so pumped up about the NBA, and I'm so pumped up about college basketball.
March Madness, buddy, couple weeks. Oh boy,
March Madness coming up, and pitchers and catchers are reporting spring training soon, so we'll have some baseball for you
already. Oh my goodness,
we're super busy here at Stadium Seats.
Yeah, we're busy, big time.
Hey, shout out real quick. Hit us up at Seats Stadium on our Twitter. Okay, you can follow us, DM us questions, stadiumseatspodcast@gmail.com. Email us anything that you want to talk about, because that's why we do this. We do this for fun, and we're here for the fans. Also, Tay, get better, girl. We miss you here.
Yeah. Sniffles.
Sniffles. We miss you. Get better. Get better. We need you on the show. We got something missing over here when one of us ain't on the show, it kind of feels kind of weird, right?
Red Bottom Tay. Frizz on the way.
On the way. Stadium Seats. Frizz, Gemz. We're out.
Love.
You know what? Hey, hit us up, because that's what we want you to do. Hit us up.
Love.
Holla at us.
Love.
Hey, Stadium Seats. We're the best in the world. We're the best in podcasting. Yo, Gemz, let them know.
Red Bottom Tay. Frizz on the way, Gemz on the mic, and he don't play. Every seat packed, the fans go cray. Stream after stream, now what they gon' say? Frizz on the beat, Tay brings the heat. Stadium Seats without Gemz ain't complete. The tailgate crazy, the fans they amaze me. Salute to all the fans that been rocking with us lately. Love.
Stadium Seats. Frizz, Gemz, Tay, we the best.